I want to talk to you today about healing from a heart you didn't deserve. All of us, at some point in life, have been hurt by someone we cared deeply about. Maybe you gave your best to a relationship. Your love, your loyalty, your patience, but instead of appreciation, you got rejection. You poured your heart out, but they took advantage of it. You stood by them, but when you needed them most, they were nowhere to be found. It's easy in those moments to become bitter, to close your heart and say, I'll never trust again. But let me remind you, your healing doesn't depend on what they did. Your healing depends on what you choose to do now. You may not have deserved the pain, but you do deserve peace. You may not have received love in return, but you are still worthy of love. God saw every tear, every lonely night, every betrayal, and He's not going to let your pain go to waste. The heart that hurt you may have left scars, but those scars are proof that you survived. And if you'll let Him, God will use what broke you to build something stronger in you. When someone you loved deeply lets you down, betrays you, or walks away, it can leave a mark that feels almost impossible to heal. The heartache can be so overwhelming that it begins to shape the way you see yourself. You start questioning your own value, your own goodness, your own ability to be loved. Thoughts begin to whisper, maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe if I had tried harder, they would have stayed. But I want to remind you today, your worth was never determined by their ability to recognize. You are valuable because God made you. You are precious because He breathed life into you. You were chosen, loved, and set apart long before anyone else had an opinion about you. The mistake we often make after heartbreak is allowing someone's failure to love us properly to convince us that we are unlovable. Well, that's a lie meant to keep you stuck, broken, and doubting your own identity. Just because someone couldn't see your value doesn't mean you lost. If you dropped a diamond in the dirt, it might get dusty, but it doesn't stop being a diamond. It doesn't lose its brilliance because it's been missed. It just needs to be cleaned and restored. And that's exactly what God wants to do for you. He wants to wash away the pain, the rejection, and the shame that tried to convince you that you weren't enough. You see, sometimes people can't handle the light that shines within you. You love deeply, you give selflessly, you believe the best in others. And not everyone knows how to handle that kind of heart. Some people are too broken to appreciate someone who loves with sincerity. Some are too selfish to value someone who gives without expecting anything in return. You may have loved someone who didn't know how to love back, and that's not your failure. That's just their limitation. When you go through heartbreak, the temptation is to internalize the pain, to make it about you. You replay the conversations in your head, analyze every word, every silence, every change in their tone. You look for answers to questions that will never be fully explained. But healing begins when you realize you don't need their explanation to move on. You don't need closure from someone who never truly valued you. The real closure comes when you decide to stop letting what they did define how you see yourself. You are not what happened to you. You are not the heartbreak you endured. You are not the rejection you faced. You are not the mistakes they made. You are a child of God, deeply loved and beautifully created. The enemy wants to use heartbreak to make you believe that you're less than, but God will use it to remind you that you are more than enough. Every time you were overlooked, God was watching. Every time you cried yourself to sleep, God was collecting those tears. Every time you thought you couldn't make it another day, His strength was carrying you. The very fact that you're still here, still standing, is proof that the heartbreak didn't destroy you. It refined you. It may have shaken your confidence, but it didn't take your word. Some of the greatest blessings come disguised as heartbreak. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that what you thought broke you was actually setting you free. God sometimes allows certain people to leave your life because He knows they would have limited your growth. He saw things you didn't see. Conversations behind your back, motives you couldn't discern, betrayal you didn't yet know about. And so He removed them, not to punish you, but to protect you. That heartbreak wasn't a rejection. It was divine redirection. It was God saying, you deserve more than this. You deserve honesty, peace, and joy. You deserve someone who sees your light and doesn't try to dim it. When you begin to understand that, you stop seeing your heartbreak as a sign of failure and start seeing it as a setup for something greater. There's a powerful truth you need to hold on to. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Sometimes their absence is the greatest gift God could have given you, because what if they had stayed? What if you had kept holding on to someone who was only meant to teach you a lesson, not live the rest of your story with you? What if the heartbreak was the only thing strong enough to make you step into your healing, into your purpose, into your true identity? When someone breaks your heart, they take something from you: your trust, your confidence, your peace. But what they can never take is your identity. You can rebuild your confidence. You can rediscover your peace. You can find joy again. But only when you stop allowing their actions to dictate your self-worth. Forgiveness is the bridge that leads you back to freedom. Not forgiveness for their sake. Forgiveness for yours. Because as long as you hold on to resentment, you're still giving them power over your life. You're letting them occupy space in your heart that God wants to fill with peace. Forgive them and release them. Not because what they did was right, but because you're tired of carrying what's heavy. It's not easy to forgive, but when you do, something powerful happens. You start healing. The anger begins to fade. The pain loses its grip, and your heart starts beating with hope again. You begin to see that God can take even the deepest wounds and turn them to testimonies of strength. You are not defined by the one who broke your heart. You are defined by the one who holds it. And the one who holds it is the creator of the universe, the one who knows how to restore, how to renew, He will take what was shattered and make it whole again. The heartbreak may have left you questioning your worth, but God is reminding you today, you are still His masterpiece. You may feel damaged, but He calls you destined. You may feel rejected, but He calls you chosen. You may feel forgotten, but He calls you His beloved. Sometimes it takes being broken by the wrong person to prepare you for the right one. Sometimes it takes losing what you thought you needed to find what truly matters. Your peace, your purpose, your power. You're not behind in life just because you're healing. You're not weak because you're still learning to trust again. Healing is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of courage. So lift your head, dry your tears, and remind yourself, you are still valuable, still beautiful, still worthy of love. The pain didn't erase your worth, it revealed. The heartbreak didn't end your story, it opened a new chapter. You may be healing from a heart you didn't deserve, but what's ahead of you is so much greater than what's behind you. God is not done writing your story. And when He finishes, the same heart that was once broken will beat with peace, joy, and love again. Because you are worth far more than what anyone failed to see. You are worth everything to the one who never stopped loving you. When people hurt you, when they betray your trust, when they walk away without explanation, they leave behind more than just emotional pain. They leave behind spiritual wounds. You may be smiling on the outside, going to work, doing your best to move on, but deep down there's a heaviness that won't go away. You try to distract yourself, but no matter what you do, there's still a part of you that feels broken. That's because some pain can't be healed by time or by people. It can only be healed by God. You see, human healing has limits. Time can make the memory fade, but it can't reach the deepest parts of your soul, those hidden places that no one sees. You may tell yourself you're fine, but inside you're still bleeding. You may say you've let go, but the smallest reminder, a song, a smell, a place, brings back all those emotions you thought were gone. That's when you need to stop trying to fix it on your own and let God step in. God is not just a healer of the body, He's a healer of the heart. The scripture says He's close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. That means He doesn't stand far away, waiting for you to pull yourself together. He comes close when you're hurting, when you can't find the words to pray. He hears the cry of your heart. When you can't make sense of what happened, He understands every unspoken thought. Sometimes we think healing means forgetting. We say, God, just help me erase the memories. But God doesn't heal by erasing the past. He heals by redeeming it. He takes the pain that was meant to destroy you and uses it to strengthen you. He takes the betrayal that was meant to break you and uses it to build character in you. When you let him into those broken places, he doesn't just patch them up, he transforms them. But here's the key. You have to invite him in. God won't force healing on you. You can keep pretending you're fine, or you can open your heart and say, God, I can't do this anymore. I need you. Healing starts with honesty. You can't hand God what you're hiding. Be real with him. Tell him where it hurts. Tell him what you can't let go of. Tell him about the anger, the confusion, the loneliness. He already knows. He's just waiting for you to trust him with it. When you bring your pain to God, he begins to gently rebuild what people tried to destroy. He'll start showing you that what happened to you doesn't have to define what happens through you. You may have been broken, but you're not beyond repair. You may have been rejected, but you're not unworthy. You may have been left, but you're not forgotten. God doesn't just heal you to make you feel better. He heals you so you can see clearer. When you're whole again, you begin to realize why certain things had to happen. That heartbreak wasn't random, it was necessary. If that relationship had continued, it might have led you further from your purpose. If that person had stayed, they might have kept you small. Sometimes God allows the pain because he knows it's the only way to pull you closer to him. You see, when life is good, we often forget about God. But when everything falls apart, we fall to our knees. That's when our faith deepens. That's when we discover who God really is. Not just a distant figure in the sky, but a father who comforts, a healer who restores, a friend who stays when everyone else leaves. Healing doesn't mean you'll never remember the pain again. It means the memory no longer controls you. You'll look back, but you won't cry the same tears. You'll remember what happened, but you'll no longer feel the sting. That's how you know God has touched your heart. When you can talk about what broke you without bitterness. When you can forgive without needing an apology. When you can thank God for what you learned instead of resenting. And I know, it's not easy to trust again after you've been hurt. You built walls to protect yourself. You promised yourself you'd never let anyone close again. But God doesn't want you to live behind walls. He wants to give you peace that no betrayal can steal, joy that no heartbreak can destroy, and love that no one can take away. You can't heal while holding on to the pain. You can't move forward while clinging to resentment. You have to release it, not to pretend it didn't matter, but to make room for what God wants to do next. Every time you let go, God replaces the pain with peace. Every time you forgive, he restores a piece of your heart. No, every time you trust him, he shows you that he was working even when you couldn't see it. Think of a broken bone. When it heals, that place becomes stronger than it was before. That's how God heals hearts too. The very place where you were broken becomes the strongest part of you. The same area that once caused pain becomes the testimony that gives others hope. You'll be able to look at someone who's going through what you went through and say, I know how that feels, but God healed me and he can heal you too. That's the beauty of God's healing. It doesn't just restore you, it restores purpose to your pain. He takes what was meant for harm and turns it for good. You thought it was over, but God was just getting started. You thought you lost everything, but God was clearing the way for something new. So don't rush the healing process. It's okay to take time. It's okay to cry, to feel, to process. Healing is not linear, it's a journey. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll feel weak. But through it all, God is working. He's piecing your heart back together with love, grace, and wisdom. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll thank God for the very thing that hurt you. You'll see that his plan was never to leave you broken. It was to bring you into a deeper, stronger, more peaceful version of yourself. Let him heal what people damaged. Let him replace the pain with purpose, the tears with joy, the scars with strength. Because when God heals your heart, you don't just form. You become a walking testimony that no matter what life takes from you, God can restore more than you lost. When your heart's been broken, it can feel like the end of everything. You look at the pieces of what was once love and wonder, how can I ever trust again? How can I ever believe and love again? Hey, the pain of what happened starts to whisper lies. You'll never find anyone like them. You'll never be happy again. You'll always be alone. But let me remind you, when something good ends, it doesn't mean something better isn't coming. God never ends a chapter without planning a greater one. Your best love story is not behind you, it's still ahead. You may think you've already experienced the best love you'll ever have, but God says, I'm not finished yet. You may have thought that relationship was everything, but what if it was only the preparation for the real thing? Sometimes God lets certain people walk away because He knows they're not capable of going where He's taking you. They were good for your past, but not for your future. They were part of your growth, not your destination. When someone leaves your life, don't let it make you bitter. Let it make you better. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every lonely season is shaping you for what's next. The love you're praying for requires a healed version of you. That's why God sometimes delays the right person. Not because He's punishing you, but because He's preparing you. He wants you to be whole before you meet the one who's meant to stay. Don't believe the lie that says love is over for you. You are never too old, too far gone to bring the right person into your life. Love didn't die when they left. Love is eternal because God is love. He still has someone designed just for you. Someone who will see your scars and not be afraid of them. Someone who will value your loyalty instead of taking it for granted. Someone who will stand beside you instead of walking away. You see, God doesn't waste anything, not even heartbreak. Every tear you cried, every lesson you learned, every sleepless night you endured was preparing you to love in a way that's stronger, wiser, and purer than before. You now know what love is and what it isn't. You know how to recognize red flags, how to set boundaries, and how to protect your peace. That wisdom is not a sign that you're hard to love. It's a sign that you're ready to love right. Sometimes the reason the last relationship didn't work is because you were trying to build a forever with someone who wasn't built to stay. God knew that if He didn't close that door, you would have settled for less than you deserved. He knew that your heart deserved peace, not confusion. He knew that your love deserved consistency, not games. He knew that your future required someone who would pray with you, not play with you. And maybe right now, you're still in that in-between season. Not where you were, but not yet where you want to be. You look around and everyone seems to be moving on, getting married, finding their person, and you're still waiting. But let me encourage you. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to. God's delays are not denials. What's meant for you will come, not a minute too late, not a second too early, but right on time. While you're waiting, don't waste your waiting. Use this time to heal, to grow, to rediscover yourself. Become the person you would want to be with. Build your confidence, strengthen your faith, and fall in love with your own journey. Because when you're happy alone, you'll never settle for someone who makes you feel lonely again. And don't let fear of being hurt again make you close your heart. You might think you're protecting yourself, but what you're really doing is blocking blessings. Love requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires courage. You can't experience the beauty of love if you're constantly afraid of. Trust that the same God who healed your heart is capable of protecting it. He won't let the wrong person through the same door again if you keep him at the center of your relationships. Your story is not over because someone broke your heart. In fact, that heartbreak might be the very thing that sets the stage for the greatest love of your life. A love that won't make you question your worth. A love that won't demand you shrink to be accepted. A love that honors you the way God always intended. The person God has for you won't be intimidated by your past. They'll see it as a testimony. They won't be scared of your scars. They'll see them as proof that you survived. They won't compete with your calling. They'll complement it. They'll love you in a way that brings peace, not confusion, joy, not exhaustion. And when it happens, you'll understand why every other door had to close. God is the best matchmaker there. He knows who will encourage you, who will lift you up, who will walk with you through every season. He's not just preparing someone for you, He's preparing you for them. He's shaping your heart to love deeply, to forgive quickly, to communicate honestly. And when He brings you together, you'll both realize it wasn't luck, it was divine timing. And maybe, even if romance isn't what's next for you right now, don't forget that love comes in many forms. God will fill your life with love through family, friends, purpose, and His presence. You will feel whole again, even without a partner, because healing makes room for joy, and joy isn't limited to romantic love. So don't mourn the love you lost so much that you miss the love that's coming. Don't stare at the closed door so long that you can't see the one God's opening right in front of you. The right love will find you when you're ready, not when you're desperate. It will arrive when your heart is steady, not when you're still searching for someone else to fix it. Keep believing. Keep your heart open. Keep trusting that God hasn't forgotten your desires. You may not see it yet, but He's already aligning your paths, orchestrating the right timing and writing the perfect story. Because your story isn't ending in heartbreak, it's leading to healing. It's leading to restoration. It's leading to a love so beautiful, so peaceful, so lasting that when it arrives, you'll look back and say, now I understand why it didn't work before. Your best love story is still ahead. And this time, it won't hurt, it won't confuse, it won't drain you. It will honor you. It will uplift you, and it will remind you that when God writes your story, every ending is just the beginning of something greater. You may still be carrying the weight of a heart you didn't deserve. The pain of betrayal, the sting of rejection, the emptiness of being misunderstood or unloved. But remember this, you are not what happened to you. You are not the heartbreak, the disappointment, or the loss. You are who God says you are, whole, worthy, loved, and chosen. The pain that tried to destroy you is the very thing God will use to develop you. What broke you down will build you up. What hurt you will become the reason someone else heals. Every tear you've cried, every night you couldn't sleep, every moment you thought you'd never recover. God saw it all, and He's been working behind the scenes, turning that pain into purpose, that rejection into redirection, and that heartbreak into healing. You didn't deserve the lies, the betrayal, or the silence. But you do deserve peace. You do deserve joy. You do deserve a future filled with love that doesn't wound but restores. Let go of the bitterness. Release the resentment, open your heart again. Not because people deserve another chance, but because you deserve to be free. God has not forgotten you. He's healing what people damaged, mending what was shattered, and preparing something greater than you ever imagined. The love that's ahead will not look like the pain of your past. The next season of your life will not be filled with heartbreak. So stand tall, wipe your tears, and trust that this is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your comeback. You will love again. You will smile again. You will trust again. And when you do, you'll realize that the same God who allowed the pain was the same God who carried you through it, and the same God who will lead you into a future so beautiful that it will make sense of everything that broke you. Because God never leaves a heart broken. He leaves it better.